On July 20th, 1969, the world watched in awe. People from all walks of life, from every corner of the globe, were glued to their television screens, witnessing what was hailed as the pinnacle of human achievement. Neil Armstrong took his first steps on the moon. His words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," echoed through the annals of history, symbolizing the boundless potential of human ingenuity and determination. Humanity had achieved the impossible, or had it? As Mission Control erupted in celebration, a shadow of doubt began to creep into the collective consciousness. This monumental event, witnessed by millions, would become a breeding ground for skepticism. The very moment that was meant to unite humanity in a shared sense of wonder and accomplishment began to fracture under the weight of suspicion. A seed of doubt was planted, questioning the very reality of our lunar triumph. Was it possible that the images and videos broadcasted to the world were nothing more than an elaborate ruse? The moon landing, a symbol of human achievement, was soon entangled in a web of conspiracy theories. The American flag, proudly planted on the lunar surface, became a focal point for skeptics who scrutinized every detail. Some whispered that it was all a hoax, a carefully constructed illusion. They claimed that the entire event was staged in a Hollywood studio directed by the masterminds of deception. They pointed to inconsistencies, anomalies in the images beamed back from the lunar surface, shadows that seemed to defy the laws of physics, the absence of stars in the sky, and the peculiar behavior of the flag, all fueled the fire of doubt. Could it be that one of history's most celebrated moments was nothing more than an elaborate lie? The questions grew louder, and the voices of dissent more insistent. The questions lingered. The doubts persisted. Families and friends found themselves divided, debating the authenticity of the moon landing over dinner tables and in living rooms. The world was left to grapple with the possibility that the moon landing, a beacon of hope and progress, was nothing but a carefully crafted deception. The implications were staggering. If such a monumental event could be faked, what else could be a lie? If we didn't land on the moon, what else were we being lied to about? The trust in government and scientific institutions began to erode, replaced by a growing sense of skepticism and mistrust. The moon landing conspiracy theories became a gateway for distrust, challenging not just our understanding of history, but also the very institutions we hold dear. The debate raged on, with each new piece of evidence scrutinized and dissected, leaving the world to wonder, what is the truth? The conspiracy theories surrounding the moon landing are diverse and persistent. These theories have captivated the imaginations of many, leading to heated debates and widespread skepticism. One of the most prevalent focuses on the shadows cast by the lunar lander and the astronauts. These shadows have been scrutinized by conspiracy theorists who believe they hold the key to uncovering the truth. Skeptics argue that these shadows should be parallel, given the sun as the sole light source. They claim that the angles of the shadows are inconsistent with what one would expect from a single light source in space. However, photographs reveal shadows falling at different angles, suggesting an artificial light source used on a film set. This has led to the theory that the moon landing was staged in a controlled environment, with multiple light sources creating the illusion of being on the lunar surface. Another point of contention is the American flag planted on the lunar surface. The flag's behavior has been a focal point for those questioning the authenticity of the moon landing. In the video footage, the flag appears to wave in the wind. This peculiar movement has been cited as evidence that the footage was not taken on the moon. This observation seems to contradict the fact that the moon has no atmosphere and therefore no wind to cause such a movement. The flag's motion has been a significant point of debate among conspiracy theorists and scientists alike. Conspiracy theorists argue that this discrepancy is proof that the footage was shot on Earth, where wind could create the illusion of a rippling flag. They believe that the flag's movement is a clear indication of a terrestrial origin for the footage. Furthermore, the absence of stars in the photographs taken from the moon has fueled skepticism. The night sky, as seen from the moon, should be filled with stars, yet the Apollo mission images show a stark, starless backdrop. With no atmosphere to obscure the view, the night sky from the moon should be ablaze with stars, yet they are conspicuously absent in the Apollo mission images. This absence has led many to question the authenticity of the photographs. This observation has been used as evidence to suggest that the photographs were taken in a controlled environment, such as a soundstage, where the background could be easily manipulated. The lack of stars is seen as a deliberate omission to avoid inconsistencies in the staged environment. These are just a few of the many arguments put forth by those who believe the moon landing was faked. Theories range from the plausible to the outlandish, each with its own set of evidence and interpretations. They point to these inconsistencies as irrefutable evidence of a grand deception, a carefully orchestrated spectacle designed to mislead the world. The debate continues to this day, with new theories and counter-arguments emerging as technology and understanding evolve. To understand the persistence of the moon landing conspiracy theories, one must consider the historical context. The 1960s was a period of intense Cold War rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. Both nations were locked in a fierce competition for technological and ideological supremacy. The space race was a key battleground in this conflict, with each side striving to achieve significant milestones before the other. The Soviet Union had taken an early lead in the space race with the launch of Sputnik 1, the first artificial satellite, in 1957. This event sent shockwaves through the United States, highlighting the technological gap that had emerged between the two superpowers. The pressure was on for the US to catch up and surpass its Cold War rival. In this climate of intense competition and national pride, the moon landing took on immense symbolic significance. It represented the pinnacle of American scientific and technological prowess, a decisive victory in the ideological struggle against communism. The stakes were incredibly high, and the pressure to succeed was immense. Despite the seeming plausibility of some conspiracy theories, scientific evidence overwhelmingly supports the authenticity of the moon landing. The meticulous planning, execution, and documentation by NASA and the international scientific community leave little room for doubt. Let's address the inconsistencies head-on. These theories often stem from misunderstandings or misinterpretations of the evidence. The shadows in the lunar photographs, while appearing non-parallel at times, can be explained by perspective and the uneven lunar terrain. The moon's surface is not flat. It is filled with craters, rocks, and hills that cause shadows to fall at different angles. Just as objects on Earth cast shadows that vary in length and direction depending on the landscape, so too do objects on the moon. The sun's position relative to the uneven terrain creates these seemingly strange shadow patterns. The waving flag, a point of contention for many skeptics, is easily explained by the way the flag was mounted. The flag was designed to appear as if it were waving, even in the vacuum of space. A telescopic pole was extended along the top to make the flag fly proudly. This pole was necessary because, without an atmosphere, the flag would otherwise hang limply. This design, combined with the lack of air resistance on the moon, caused the flag to move in a way that resembled a wave, even though there was no wind. The movement was a result of the astronauts' actions while planting the flag and the lack of atmospheric drag. The absence of stars in the Apollo photographs is not evidence of a studio setting, but rather a consequence of the camera settings and the lunar environment. The bright lunar surface required specific photographic techniques. The surface of the moon, bathed in bright sunlight, was the primary focus of the photographs. The harsh lighting conditions on the moon's surface necessitated adjustments to the camera settings. To capture a well-exposed image of the lunar surface, the cameras were set with fast shutter speeds and small apertures, which limited the amount of light entering the lens. These settings were crucial for preventing overexposure of the bright lunar landscape. These settings, while ideal for photographing the brightly lit lunar landscape, were not conducive to capturing the faint light of stars in the background. The stars, though present, were simply too dim to be recorded by the camera under these conditions. In essence, the camera settings prioritized the well-lit astronauts and lunar landscape, leaving the distant stars too faint to be captured. The focus was on documenting the mission and the lunar environment, not the stars. This phenomenon is easily replicable on Earth. Try photographing a brightly lit person at night, and you'll likely find that the background stars are similarly absent in your picture. The same principles of exposure apply, demonstrating that the absence of stars in the Apollo photos is a natural result of the photographic process. The scientific community has rigorously analyzed the data from the Apollo missions, and the evidence consistently supports the reality of the moon landings. From the rock samples brought back to Earth to the detailed telemetry data, every piece of evidence aligns with the historical record. The lunar rock samples in particular provide irrefutable proof. These rocks have unique properties that are distinct from any found on Earth, further validating the authenticity of the moon landings. The success of the Apollo missions is a testament to human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. The moon landings remain one of humanity's greatest achievements, a symbol of what we can accomplish when we dare to dream and work together. As we continue to explore the cosmos, let us remember the lessons of the past and the incredible journey that brought us to the moon. The evidence is clear, the science is sound, and the legacy of the Apollo missions endures.